Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Carlisle, welcome to 9 News TV, bringing all the up to AFC Wimbledon to Carlisle United in League 2 this afternoon. I'm Nick Jacob. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm joined to my left by Josh Jones and to my right, large George Brown. Yeah, we're going to go straight to team news, I think, because teams have just been announced and we have two changes to the starting lineup, and the other drops out for Jai-Sami on the 10th. As you can see, Chris Gunter, as we expected, steps in for the injured. So, other than that, it is same old to start with George. Oh, we need to sort this out. Okay, George Jones, you are now original George. Okay. And George and George. Yeah, I'll tell that. George, your instant reaction. I mean, I guess we thought that Gunter was going to come in before I've been injured. Otherwise, it's just a change of in front three from four.
Yeah, firstly I just want to say I really miss Ryan Tower, so if you're watching, please come back. But no, I was really excited by Jai-Sami at Charlton. Orient. I thought he did well, he looked direct, he wanted flips. Unfortunate for Ali, because I thought actually Ali had a very good game as well, so I can see that, but it's nice to have maybe an option off the bench. And then Gunt comes in on the basis that Huss is out for 6 to 8 weeks, I think they said, on the hamstring. So, you know, having that experience, you know, I know people think Gunter's limited, perhaps, compared to us. But, you know, in a back four, he's always done a job, so I'm not anti it. But, you know, as League 2 replacements go, I think Chris Gunter's quite decent for a right back.
DJ, as you mentioned, featured very briefly at the end of last week's defeat at Giants. I actually thought we were next time we can see flashes of.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping to start today. I guess last week we were getting into the squad, getting some fitness, and going to give him that chance to get around the players. And from what I've heard from Charlton fans, he's a good player. He just didn't get the chance to get the gaffy. So I'm excited to see what he can bring. I think he's definitely League 2 quality, if not League 2 quality. So yeah, really excited.
And then on the bench as well, George, I noticed he's not involved last week, but he is here this afternoon on the bench, and as I said before, actually some options on the bench.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things. I mean, Maxi, I think we'll all expect him to make a statement for us at some point today, where he will get minutes. He's one of those players of his versatility, making the perfect player to come off the bench. You can score him anywhere in that sort of midfield three, he can play out wide as well. And the attacking options, like I said, obviously Cristiano, Hamadi as well. We've really got attacking options, and obviously we've got Harry Pierre and Jack Curry if we need to tap things up at the back. So it's probably the strongest bench we've had in a long time.
I'm just wondering if Josh Davis is captain.
Something tells me that might be a misplaced.
I think this might be a Stu's bench.
I was just going to say on Casey McAtee, I think coming through a Prem Academy, you can always tell they're just a bit better on the ball, a bit sharper. So maybe if we do need that, if it is 0-0, for example, we need someone to unlock the defence. You know, having someone who's got that quality might help us. Obviously, I've never seen the kid. I've seen highlights, so I know he's sharp on the ball. I've never seen him play in 90 minutes, so it might be interesting to see him come on. I'm sure he'll be good on the ball as well, or not he can firm up to if that makes sense. If he's strong enough, if he can, you know, put his body in the right place to win the fouls and things like that.
Just to jump in on that, I think he's that creative technical a little bit. Harry Powell brings that kind of tactical, as we say. I think he's the PG term for it.
Yeah.
A certain sort of housery. But I think he can bring that. I think maybe a link from midfield and attack. I think we struggle with that quite a lot. We go from defensive midfield to some good at Pajaz, Armani, and then all of a sudden just maybe just Carlisle or challenge against Lake Orient. I'm hoping that he can be that link and hopefully create a nice fluid football shot.
I mean, we mentioned that before. You need to have come in original George. It made a real impression on me. I totally get what you're saying about what we'd love to see through the midfield, moving through the third but so much energy in this one.
Yeah, I think Armani's been absolutely brilliant since he's come in. His work rate, his aggression, both in and out of possession, is something you desperately need. And his quality on the ball is something you do need when you talk with it, because Woodie's got a lot of qualities, but he's not the best on the ball. So having someone who's got that range of passing is desperately needed. And I think Armani's one that I'm sure we'll talk about it as the season goes on. I think we're all fairly desperate for him to be a captain.
I noticed that and lead round free kicks.
Well, I think Chizzy's happy outside the box, isn't he, at the top of the box. I know he can take a good, but if you look at Gill's goal first of the season, he sat on top of the box. I think that's where he wants to be. And I think with Little as well, it's how to be perfectly balanced as the midfield. I think we've had Woody as a sort of holding and then Hell as an attacking. We've never had the link. Harris didn't really fit in as an 8, and I think Armani really suits that role where he is really good defensively. He runs and runs, but he's also responsive with the ball. He wants to go forward, he wants to score goals, and so it's really nice to have sort of midfield 3 that gels. I don't think we've had that in a long time. All 3 are playing in the position that they like. That makes sense.
Just jumping about Janet as well, I think we've seen that with our back line. Obviously, the start of the season, once we got to Tower and PK created like a middle partnership. I think that led to like being cheats and obviously getting Nick confidence in back in front of him. I think last season the reason why we lost so many World Cups was we did change that back line quite a lot. Quite a lot of defenders that were moving in and around the squad. So having a PK is just there's 5 defenders in the squad rather than having hopefully him and Pierce can build a partnership. That is what's going to be interesting. So when you get a Jet midfield, so I think we see that kind of moving forward as well. Chislett and Davison, they're building sort of understandings there, and that's what we missed out. I think we missed out a lot last year.
As well, you mentioned partnerships. Alex Pearce is a step back here. But I think you've seen what he actually brings to the play. Some people are shocked at the season trying to play. But what I'm happy about is he's had a place. I think he's stepped in, he's had a deeper, Richard George.
Yeah, I think he's come on leaps and bounds this year and he's proven some of the doubts wrong. I think you look at him and a lot of people will critical of him and saying he should have been starting. Some people saying that he shouldn't even be at the club. So the fact that he's come in and made that position his own is, I think a real benefit to him and it's something that proves the long-term process of what we're working towards.
I think as well, I actually sit in the West Stand and Port stand, and you can really hear what he says. He's leading that back line like no one else. And I think with Piercy is, he is, I'm sure he'll admit that, he's 5 yards behind, but upstairs he's so far ahead of everyone else in League 2. He knows where he needs to be, he knows where he needs to cover. He's so far ahead of the game, he reads it so well that his pace is almost irrelevant in most of the, and I'm sure, I say that now, and today he'll be exposed to his pace, I'm sure saying that.
Yeah,
but across the season, across the sort of 5 games he's played now, in a back 4, not once has he not been in the right place, be where he needs to be. Even like he can have done anything with a goal win, and we've got a game to finish it, so he has been foot perfect for a centre back, but I wasn't going to rate the back 4, so I have to take that back and say, he's really come in and played really well.
Also, we talk about his speed. I think he's got speed where it matters. In that split second when he's gone over, he either gets above his man, in front of his man, he's so quick. In that sense, only over half a second, but it's just the way he can read that game and give himself the speed he needs in the right moment, so he's even more effective. Over 50 metres, 40, 50 well taken. That's not his game. His game is really good, as we've said, really, really well. That's what we benefit from. And PK and take our next generation.
The other thing you talk about is sort of George about Mateo and sort of capability about being coached otherwise. I think we talked about Alex Pearce there, saying his decision making, and that's something basically they always say better players, yes, technically fantastic, so most of it is it definitely benefits from that because obviously since returning we have got a different game. Richard George just mentioned a Carlisle league. We have got some part of that we do have no reason to line today. Christian Dennis also starts as expected. Carlisle is
Carlisle Gordon, who's a serious technical, very technical, very quick. Winger forward, I'll be honest, he's always a bit shy with a perhaps like Shindire starts going right, just because I worry about that pair and go through here together and get some serious pace, serious technical ability. That would be their main thing.
I think
there's levels to pace.
The problem is, the reason why Carlisle doing so well, I'm sure I might be wrong here, Dennis is such a focal point way Davison is, and then if you can have players like Palace bit like IU with Josh. I know it sounds weird. IU was allowed so much space because Josh occupied the defenders both so nicely. So I think it will be tough today, but I think Gunter is the right man with his experience. And Isaac's been outside for so long and had some issues, with JJ and things like that. But I think we might have made the right decision playing Gunter.
We are going to take a break. We're going to come back when we get to Carlisle in a minute, but let's look back at
Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
last Saturday.
Good afternoon, how are we all?
This is our undefeated next night.
Anybody awake down there?
You have to go back to October the 1st for the last time Leyton Orient conceded at home in the league, but Richie Wellens' side have been faltering a little bit of late. The O's have scored just once in their last 7 outings. They're still top of the table though, and made 3 changes from their 1-0 defeat to Tranmere last weekend, including just a 3rd senior start for Brighton Ed Turns. Carlisle have been of late, losing just one of their last 14 League 2 outings. Johnny Zanev, please.
It doesn't look as impressive.
Alright, welcome back everyone, and some apologies for any sound issues you had. That was sort of beyond our control here, so we've just switched mics. We're going to try and hopefully this will be better for you to listen. We've also spared you the background noise that we do get here on occasion, but we've been joined by two visiting fans this afternoon. To my left we have Lee, and to my right we have Mike from Carlisle. Travelled down today from Liverpool.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll enjoy your trip down here in South London today, but not too much. Did you guys travel down to Kings Meadow on occasion?
I did. I came to the one game when we won 3-1. I think it was.
Not a bad day out there.
Yeah, not the best view in the world, if it's fair to say.
You'll have a much better view today.
Nice day out, so it was enjoyable. That was it. Hopefully it was good for us this time. But.
We shall see. We were just having a quick chat about your team and your lineup. You've scared me a little bit with some of the talent you've got in your team. I was already a little bit wary of the likes of Joe Garner, John Mellish, Christian Dennis. First of all, how do you guys line up then? You said you've got 3-5-2, is that how it works?
Yes, a 3-5-2. So essentially we'll play with your two wing backs will be Senior and Armour, your centre backs, Feeney on the right, Mellish on the left, Huntington in the middle. And there'll be a midfield three of sort of Moxon and Giles sit a bit deeper. Gibson will be just behind the front two, with Garner and Dennis up front. When I say that, say we play back three, but as you probably find out, John Mellish plays where he wants. We play almost all our play will come down the left because Mellish is, as Mike described before, a box-to-box defender.
The lesser spotted box-to-box defender, which is interesting. Down the left is where we've got a little change today with Chris Dunn's coming in, so that'd be an interesting battle to see. Mike, what can you tell us about this? We all know about Christian Dennis, but I mean, how good has he been this season? Is he an out-and-out goal scorer, or does he try and link play a bit more, or is he a bit of an all-rounder?
I mean, he does try and link play a little bit more. I mean, some of our fans were having a pop at him a few weeks ago saying he only scores goals, but that's not a bad thing.
Exactly.
And there can be games where 60 minutes in he hasn't really done a lot, and then all of a sudden he'll score 2 goals in 10 minutes, and that's what you want from him.
Yes,
so.
absolutely,
Yeah, to describe him, I'd say he's just a classic fox in the box. Right.
We think we came a crop against him earlier in the season at Brunton Park. Who else have you got? You were talking to me about centre midfielder that's very performing, like top performer this season.
Owen Moxon.
Get my words out.
Remember the name because he won't be playing for us next season.
Owen Moxon.
He's been outstanding. We signed him with you've got to go back a bit, 8 years with Owen Moxon, because he was in our academy till he was 16. And then we decided he wasn't even good enough to get a youth contract, so we let him go. So he went to Queen of the South, did his youth sort of thing there, didn't quite make it there, so he went and joined Allen Athletic. Allen's just over the Scottish border near Gretna. It's like 7 or 8 miles from Carlisle, isn't it? And he was working as a UPS driver for the last few years. And last season he had his proper breakthrough season at Allen. He was in the Scottish League 2 team of the season. He came third in the Scottish League 2 player of the season. And as luck would have it, Allen's manager Peter Murphy, who was our record outfield appearance holder, he played under Paul Simpson when we won the title back in the 506. And Murphy contacted him and said, "You need to come and watch this lad, because if you don't sign him, bigger clubs are going to come in for him, but he will sign for Carlisle if he's a local lad." Came and had a look at him in a couple of games and basically said, I think he said to him, "We're going to sign him before the playoffs were played." Brought him in, and our thoughts for he'll take a bit of time to settle. He's been outstanding, like unreal how good he's been. Taken to like a duck to water. Bosses get. The thing is, you think, having come part time, not trained full time, he'll struggle with the physical side. Quite happy with that. I think he's somewhere like third in terms of most tackles, I think, in the division as well. I think
interceptions,
assists. He's joint top with Elliot Watt and Ben Whitfield. He dominates games. Like against Rochdale, he did a ridiculous pirouette on the ball. There's no need to do it. But that's how confident he is. And there was a concern today he wouldn't be fit, but he's recovered from a dead leg. If he gets a grip on the game, you'll struggle to stop him because he's that good.
It could be a very interesting battle in centre midfield today with Woody and Amani Little, who's impressed so far for us. Mike, we were talking before the game, before you came on, about Kamani Gordon, loanee from Palace, very highly rated, very high expectations. We were just chatting with Lee as well beforehand, Amari Patrick on the bench as well. It's fair to say you have options, which again worries me a little bit. But how are these two? They look
they've both got a lot of pace, and normally we'd sort of play a Dennis with a Gordon and a Garner with a Patrick, so you kind of got that balance of pace and like nous.
Physicality.
Yeah. But Gordon has looked very good. He's certainly got the pace. I mean, if you play a high line and he's on Like,
Okay, well,
yeah, he'll just run him behind. But
Done it
he-
2 or 3 times already. hasn't
yeah, but he's got a very good knack in that you play a ball over the top on the halfway line, and he'll only take one touch before he scores.
Right.
Like, even though he'll run like 30 yards of the ball, he'll only actually touch the ball once before he finishes. Like, he's got so much pace, and he's got the confidence as well. I mean, when we played against Barrow, he had one of them, ball comes over the top, and he could have slotted it away, but thinks, no, do you know what, I'm going to try and get the keeper sent off here, and tries to round him. Keeper didn't get sent off, but we got a penalty, and he scored from that. So yeah, he's a massive threat, and we're very glad that Crystal Palace let us have him, because he's a very good young talent.
Is that a loan? Just
Yeah, loan until the end of the season.
So we've had some struggles with loans, obviously, in January windows last year. So obviously he's on the bench, and I'm thinking a tired back line, obviously, of an ageing back line of Pierce, Brown and Gunter, where, don't get me wrong, I think they're all League 2 quality, but sounds like that could be some trouble later on, which will be lovely to watch.
Yeah. Well, I think it's the thing now, since they've stopped the short-term loans, I think clubs are loaning players out till January, and if they're doing well, they'll try and loan to a higher league. And if they're not getting enough game time, they'll recall them anyway, kind of thing.
It's a challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
We had 3 going back in January, albeit 3 that went back, 2 of them weren't really playing.
Yeah.
The other one who went back was sold by Derby to Stockport. We matched the fee, but Stockport loaned everyone away with wages this season, so we couldn't match the wages.
And then we signed Joe Garner instead. So.
No, we signed Manny Gordon.
Well, yeah.
Manny Gordon and Stretton, who we had a loan, he scored, I think, 2 in 23. Gordon's got 2 in 4, so it's a good exchange, really.
Yeah.
I mean, we shouldn't expect anything different, really, should we, from a team that's only set 3rd in the division, but we do have to reference Paul Huntington, because he's probably going to spend a lot of the game today turning towards his own goal to deal with a long ball over the top. And we saw what happened.
Well, to be honest, he'd be fine with that. Last week is a rare aberration in terms of heading. Heading-wise, he wins everything. He's 34 years old, 35. He gives little nudges in the back, doesn't he? Like, he's clever. He'll nudge the attacker and win the header. He wins most of it. I don't know what came across him last week. We can't.
Well,
we can't
I think he has PTSD, because earlier in the season, a ball came over the top and he underhit the pass back,
right,
and then a striker got on the end of it and scored. So I think he overhit it,
Yeah.
But I mean, his experience figure and him coming in has been a godsend's probably the wrong word, but it's been that little bit that's made the defence click. And you've seen the best out of Feeney, who's captain, and he's really grown as a player. And Mellish has got that freedom to get through.
You've seen that a bit of us as well. Alex Pearce coming in this year. Again, we mentioned it just before you guys came on. There was a lot of uncertainty around whether he's going to have the legs in the back too. And I think he's just been the perfect kind of mentor for Paul Calambay in that sense of he can go next to him, watch how he reads the game, watch what he does, and he, as a young player, it's really the perfect thing to have, especially those 2 you mentioned around him.
You need players like that. We've had players like Anthony Gerrard who came to us for 1 season, and he made a big difference for the season. Clint Hill was outstanding. We got him his last season of his career.
He was like 39 years old.
That's
39 years, could not run, but my God, could he defend?
So Paul Robinson time.
Great.
Well, that'd be an interesting battle. We wonder if Huntington's quite tall, lad, isn't he? Quite
6'4", 6'3".
Yeah, so I wonder if we
I'd say
stick Harry
6'3".
Pell.
He wins a lot. He wins a lot in the air.
Okay, Harry Pell, I imagine, will push him forward to try and maybe, because Josh won't get much out of him, I wouldn't have thought. Right, well, thank you very much, gents, for coming to speak to us. Before you head off, we need some predictions for this afternoon. So, dare I ask?
What do you go for?
Well, I said on our podcast 2-1, and I'm going to stick with that. To us.
Up to you. Do double over us 2-1.
I went 2-0.
Okay.
And Garner's starting. I think I back Garner to score on my prediction, so I'll go with Garner scoring and Huntington to make up for last week.
And for all Wimbledon fans who will then be listening out for your Opposition podcast next week to get your take on the game, where can they find your podcast?
We're on all good podcast apps, Spotify.
Just search for Brunton Bugle, bruntonbugle.com. I think we're planning on recording tomorrow a review of this one, aren't we? So that'll be out Monday at some point. So
thank you very much, gents. Been a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming and enjoy the game. And we shall move on, Tom. I don't know to what.
Where to? There's some comments. We have some comments in.
We do have a player lined up, but
gents,
if you feel free to, feel free to run to the way in. But nice to meet you. Thank you very much. And we got some comments from you at home watching on YouTube as well. So we'll get some of those on the screen whilst we get our special guest lined up.
I've got one saying we missed Ayub. I think that's going to be a trait for a lot of games.
So
we miss Ayub. Obviously, relentless attacker, and hopefully he's doing well at Qatar.
Qatar. He has scored in Qatar.
He has scored, yes.
He has scored a goal in Qatar and been booked with reasons we don't know. We're not going to suggest dissent.
No, it's not his game really, is it?
Not at all.
There you go, one there from Robbie Jack. JSE meet looks like a real steal. Have to agree. I think he'll be a good player for us. Obviously only on loan, but hopefully one we can get the best out of.
Yeah, do you know what's interesting? Let's talk to the guys. Carlisle, they were talking about us and their pace being able to get in behind. We defend and sit so deep that I'm not sure how much joy they're going to get in that regard. But they also seem quite open, and I think that's going to play to our strengths massively. And a player like DJ with his pace as well, I think on the break, I think we might get a bit of joy today. I'm just quietly confident.
It's just some positivity from you.
I know. Not
Please
normal.
believe about 8-0 now, doesn't it?
I shouldn't say anything, should I?
My main worry is the fact they've got this that fellow in midfield apparently seems to not be unplayable.
So interesting battle. We're rejoined by George Brown, and we were just talking to the Carlisle fans about how they set up and things like that. With they say a back three, but one who seems to do what he wants. But they've got Paul Huntington at the back. You come round, yes, so absolutely. We are now joined, special guest Hussein. And I'm gonna have to ask you, Hussein, before you come on, because we have to settle it. You have to settle this once and for all for us on the podcast, because I have been told many different pronunciations of your surname. Can you set it straight for the record? Is it Biller, How do we pronounce it?
It's just Biller.
Biller.
Yeah,
there we go.
Biller.
So we have to sort of think it's got two L's. Right, so Biller. Hussein Biller has joined us, but Hussein, unfortunately, we have to say that you're with us today because of injury. Just explain. Can you explain to us sort of? Was it just I say it's bog standard, but sort of you seemed to go down last week or right by the touchline. An immediate hamstring, you just felt it go.
Yeah, it was just a little pull. I felt don't feel like it's nothing too major, so I just felt a little pull and didn't want to play on it, so the injury gets worse.
Yeah. Perfect. So yeah, we unfortunately you'll be out for a little while, but you've been absolutely outstanding since you come in the last few months. I don't know. There's not going to be a fan in the world that disagrees with me on that one. What were you thinking of your time in the first team? You came in. Were you expecting to go quite? Were you expecting to get quite such a run of games that you got?
I just thought I never think of how many games I'm going to get or anything. I just focus on my performances, and I always believe performances always do the talking, and thank the gaffer for giving me a chance, and that's literally it. And I thank my teammates as well for helping me out during this run, because without them, they've got me out of situations that sometimes I thought I was
I'm sure you've got them out of more situations than the other way around.
I just want to ask, so obviously Huss plays right back, I'm sure everyone knows. Before the game, are you looking at the left winger? Do you do your research, because you want to know, you've had every left winger on the locks, in your back pocket for 90 minutes. So I was just wondering, do you before the game, are you doing analysis about where they go, or do you just sort of trust?
No, funny enough, what's it called? I never check up on the other winger or my opponent. We always do a bit of a review the day before the game, and I kind of see a little bit about how they play, but it's just my natural play is to always get tight to my winger and to stop crosses, to stop him from getting space, turning, driving at me. So I feel like that's just helped a lot, no matter who I come across.
We've got quite an experienced back line. Obviously, like Alex Pearce, obviously Chris Gunter, Wales' most capped player. What's it like being in that environment with them and learning from them?
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. There's not a day that goes by where you don't pick up something from them. Such experience, and plus their characters alone is just brilliant. They know how to talk to youngers. They know how to deal with youngsters. And I think they've just been brilliant to me and the whole squad and all the other youngsters in the team.
How do you see the role of fullback now, or have you ever seen it any differently? I'm thinking, someone like me, going back many years, the role of fullback's really come on. It used to be a very, very defensive position. I think maybe Alex Ferguson at Man United really liked and started to introduce the idea of getting your fullbacks really pushed on. You really do push on when you can. Is that what you're sort of hoping to do every game?
Yeah, I feel like in the modern day of football, for you to be my aspirations in football is to be the best fullback in the world, if I can be. Yeah, so I feel like to do that, you need to be able to have obviously, first and foremost, be a great defender, and secondly to be able to push on and bring something to the table going forward. And I feel like I've always worked on my game going forward as well as defensively, and yeah, still a lot to improve on, but hopefully get this.
Can I ask, did you grow up being a winger? Because you look so comfortable going forward and driving at men.
Nah.
Like, you don't really see it as that often as a right back.
Obviously, when I was very young, like my early days of playing football, I used to play a bit of midfield, but I've never really played wing. I've just always been comfortable in positions I get put in. I feel like just work hard, do the basics well, and I feel like you'll be good.
It must be nice to be in an environment as well where you've got other academy players like Curry coming through. Does that really like show you, first day of the season everyone was raving about Jack Curry, and it seems like it's literally a conveyor belt at the academy. Does that sort of like show you that when you were 18 that it was time and you were ready?
Yeah, it's always patience, having belief, trusting in God, obviously, because I'm a spiritual person. I believe in God, and I always just trust in this process. I always believe time will tell, and I just knuckled down, worked hard, just keep humble, and that's it really. Your time will come eventually, and that's up to you to take your opportunity.
So what's the plan for you now then for the next few weeks? Are you going down to training ground every day to get treatment or anything like that, or do you now take a bit of time off? How's it going to work? Do you know?
Just go down to the training ground, do a bit of rehab so I can come back as quick as possible. And that's really it, to be fair. And I'll hopefully be back soon.
Yeah, we hope so. What's it like training with what are Harry Pell and Lee Brown like, and Woody like in training? Alex Pearce as well. What are they like?
Characters.
There we go.
Characters, like they're I can't lie. They're amazing to have they're amazing to have in the training ground, in the change room. Like, there's not a day that goes by where one of them won't make you laugh.
Yeah.
Like they're just characters. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask, what was the value of going out on loan? Because we've got some youngsters out on loan now, like Quake and Frimpong, for example, and players like that. Do you really feel like the loan spells, I think you immersed them, is that right?
Yeah.
Do you feel like they really showed you a different side of the game?
I feel like the loan spells, obviously you can get different types of loans. You can go to a loan team where they're already doing well, so it's quite comfortable. It's quite the way they play football suits you and everything. Or you can go to a loan team where it's completely opposite, and it kind of makes you open your eyes and think, wow, like this is a bit of a difficult one. So going on loan to Merstham, they were fighting relegation, so it taught me the importance of getting 3 points, because back in academy days and like development phase, you never really focus on getting the 3 points. You always focus on more of your progress and your development as a player. And I feel like going on loan helped me gain the value of getting 3 points, fighting against like older men, experienced men that's played in the game. And I feel like it's done me good in that sense.
Any cheese rolls down at Merstham? Or is that a reference that I'm only going to...
I think that might be... My dad talks about that. So
yeah, the cheese rolls. Yeah, if you ever get a chance to go back to Merstham, ask about cheese rolls. Okay,
Cheese
so
rolls,
it's a famous Wimbledon legend.
My dad, if he's watching, he'll understand.
He'll love that reference,
Yeah.
the cheese roll reference. Cool, so thanks very much for talking to us. So where are you going to be watching the game from today? Are you going to be up here?
No, I'm just going to be down there, to be fair. We're
Yeah.
in the second floor.
Okay, cool. Right. And dare I ask you for a prediction, or what? If not a prediction, maybe we'll put you on the spot for that. But how much do you know about Carlisle? How much have you seen of them? And what was it? Did you play up against them at one season? You weren't involved by that point.
I wasn't involved by that point.
Who's going to score first then?
Yeah,
Who's going to be our first goal scorer? Come on then.
I'll go first goal scorer. Either Chizzy or Josh.
There we go.
Chizzy or Josh. And we'll win the game. We'll win the game.
That's what we like.
You've
That's what we like to
heard it-
do.
you've heard it here first.
The boys
right?
work hard. Gaffer knows what he's doing. Brilliant, man. Brilliant. The coaching staff are all brilliant. So
Yeah, I mean,
we'll win the game.
The team ethic you can absolutely see
Yeah.
every single week, and it's
Very
so training
close,
ground.
very
It's
close
great.
together, yeah.
Just to jump in on that team ethic, sorry, we mentioned characters earlier. What is that dressing room like? We mentioned Lee Brown said earlier in the season, he said it was a dressing room he'd seen in teams that have got promoted before. What is the vibe like at training and that?
The togetherness is actually quite surreal. I'll be honest. Like I never expected it to be this tight as a group. Like I've been in previous dressing rooms along the years, and I've never felt this togetherness. with like a bunch, like a team together. So it's quality, to be fair. Like youngsters are always involved in conversations. Like you get to express yourself, you get to express who you are as a person. And there's also other characters that bring you together. So yeah.
So I think we're seeing that transform slightly onto the pitch. I've mentioned it on shows before. It's like a brotherhood.
Yeah.
You always see like Nick Zanev and Paul Cullen-By. If there's any like scuffles, they're straight in there to back their teammate and kind of get their point across. And I think that's, and obviously the usual offenders. Harry Cole is always
always in the middle
up and around the referee while pushing players. But I think it's been really good to see, especially on the pitch.
I just wanted to ask one more. Who's now got the worst trim in the team? Because you said it was Isaac before. Has he got a fade sorted? Is anyone else?
He has sorted his fade out.
It's got to be Chiz.
Nah, Chiz, I like Chiz.
You like Chiz?
Chiz.
Fair enough. I can't talk.
And plus, he's my partner. I have to.
Of course, yeah, exactly. Yeah, fair.
What about Josh's braids?
I like Josh's braids. I really like
He
them.
rocks it.
He does rock.
does
Looks
rock
like
properly.
a warrior Viking.
Yeah.
I don't even know who has the.
Towns, I like Towns. He looks
like-
sharp when he
yeah,
gets it
when he
sorted. He
gets
looks
it.
sharp.
We need to go back to the days of footballers having rubbish haircuts,
Yeah.
like proper bowl cuts like they used to. Now they're all too.
Is that a day? Do you do it the day before the game always? Is
Who,
that like
me? A
yeah.
trim. To be fair, I have a routine of getting my trim either a week or every 2 weeks. So even if there's a game and I haven't got it, I don't really care about the trim. It's about the performance.
It's all about performance. Well, thank you very much for taking time to join us.
Thank you very much,
Absolute
guys.
pleasure.
Thank you
Cheers,
very
and,
much.
all the best for the recovery.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Right, what are we going to do now? What should we do now? Should we have another quick look at the team before we head off to Spike?
Score predictions.
And score predictions as well. Yeah, absolutely. Don't know if. There we go. There's the lineup. Is Stu joining us? Stu is going to join us and explain what's happened with the captains.
Yeah, Josh Davison's captain today.
That's called Stuart error.
Stu's given him a promotion for today.
Josh is our captain.
I'll give you
today.
the technical answer. The technical answer is that because Chris Gunner's playing, it actually mucked up the flow.
Of course.
So I had it all preset. So actually, Josh Davison, they're all captains, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? That's why.
Nice to get out answer.
I don't think you can have that as an excuse, Stu, because then it would go to Pell, wouldn't it?
I don't know. I think I had to move. I don't know.
I'm joking.
To be fair,
I'm
to be fair, me and technology
George Jones,
doesn't really
there's the
happen,
answer.
and we have such a tight window to get all this stuff in there. That's my excuse. Anyway, Josh Davison would be a great captain.
Yeah.
I'm sure Woody would give it away for a day.
Yeah, maybe when we play Swindon, he might actually be captain. That tends to happen, but
Yeah, true.
maybe not Carlisle. What do you make of Huss? I thought Huss was fantastic.
Yeah.
Spoke really well. Such a humble guy. Such a nice guy. And I think that pretty much sums up the squad. Pretty much, I think.
I'll be truthful, I couldn't hear him because even though people at home might be able to hear, in here it's quite noisy because of the stuff. So I'll watch it back. But do you know what? I saw him on Wednesday. I was fortunate to be down the training ground Wednesday, and he spoke. And I'll be truthful. How he comes across is a lot different how he plays his football.
Yes, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like he plays a very aggressive game, doesn't he? But actually off the pitch, when you talk to him, he's a very light-spoken guy. But yeah, it's not surprised. He's come through the academy. He's been educated well, and he's got all the manners.
I thought it was interesting how it wasn't confidence, but it was just such a self-belief that when he got that chance, he knew he was ready. He knew he'd done all the work off the pitch, all the loans. He just knew that he just needed that chance, and he has been basically foot perfect. I haven't seen a bad Villa performance, so it's just so encouraging that these academy players who are coming through like Jack are so ready that they just need the chance, which is really nice to see, because I think in previous years the academy kids have been chucked in at the wrong time or they haven't been ready or whatever reason. So it's nice to see that this new brand of academy kids where they have the belief, they've been told that they're ready, and then they've just got to go out and sort of do it.
I think the trick is the loans. It's really important how you do the loans. So Jack Curry, to give an example, went out on loan to Eastbourne Borough. Only played 26 games for us, but he played a whole season at Eastbourne Borough. So he was used to playing league football, and he come in ultra confident, didn't he? So
Look, I said I don't think he could step up from Eastbourne to League Two. I said that I've been completely proved wrong, and it shows that how important I think the gap from playing youth football to actually getting into a men's team environment and playing a full season is. And it's so. I think it's a massive credit to our academy setup and how these players now have come in and stepped straight into that
Well,
team.
we just sent loans out. I don't know if you saw it, but like Morgan Williams has gone to Caribbean Casuals. So we haven't done this. I think the difficult we had, especially with Alfie Bender, was we didn't have the squad depth to send anybody out for a season loan. But if he can stay out for a season, because when they come back, they are. To be fair, the same lineup.
You just said. Go on, finish with saying
I was interested when the same lineup come in. I was amazed how confident he was when he came in.
This is what I mean.
And then he got more confident. It was just, it's going to be a big miss for us as well. But hey, look, you've got a Welsh international coming back in, so I don't know what you said already, but it's not a bad replacement.
I was going to say, it also shows Carlisle was at Merstham. They got relegated, I think, from the Isthmian League. So it's almost irrelevant the league they go into. Like Eastbourne, you were saying you didn't think National League South. If you can get a season in the National League South or 6 months in the National League South, you will come back a different player. And that's why I think someone like Isaac, I know Huss is now injured, so when Huss comes back, maybe Isaac could do with him a couple of months down at Eastbourne or something like that. Luke Jenkins, I've massively rated Luke Jenkins. He's got now 6 months to go to Hampton, and I'm sure he'll come back a different centre back. So, massive credit to Mark Robinson and now I think it's Michael Hamilton doing the loans. It's so important that these kids at 18 aren't just expected to be there because they're not.
It's probably just a routine as well. Like even though there are points in league football, realistically, if you finish top of the league, it doesn't really make much difference. But when you're going out, especially to a non-league club, and actually results on a match day mean something, you're probably right. It's probably not even the level. It's probably just that mentality of you're playing for points and you're probably playing Saturday, Tuesday. Do you know what I mean? And it's like anything with loans. You want them to make their mistakes somewhere else, not with us. Do you know what I mean?
And that's when I sort of said a moment ago about what you said. Yeah, that's what you were saying. Exactly that. Going out alone, games with consequences, games that actually having to win, go out, different from academy sort of level and stuff like that. I just want to make a quick shout out to Eastbourne Borough. Their football team is halving the average age of the population in Eastbourne. But also, Stu, I just want to say, you'll get my cheese roll reference because I asked Huss about Merstham and cheese rolls, but obviously I was the only one that
he probably wasn't even born back then.
He probably wasn't born. No, he wouldn't have been. No,
do you know what? We've probably told the story many times before, but our friend Nick Palmer, he went into meltdown. This story is great, right? So they did cheese and ham rolls, right? I think they started at £3. Then at half time went down to £2. Then during the game went to £1.
And at one point, I think he went and stocked up.
Yeah. So he paid full price for these cheese rolls, and they were giving them away at the end of the game.
Literally.
And he went into meltdown. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
But anyway, there we go. Right, we are coming close to. We have a message. Okay, it's very important for the EFL. We've not been fined again, have we? Right, what's it saying? Tom, do you want to do
it? It says, due to a technical issue on EFL Digital Club websites, supporters are advised to use the EFL iFollow app to follow this afternoon's fixtures. We're working with our partners and suppliers to quickly resolve the issue. So I'm assuming no streaming.
No, I think that means you have to stream it through the iFollow app rather than
through the app.
Don't go on it.
I didn't know there was
an app. As you can tell, we don't do that.
Yeah, there is an app, so if you need to use that,
it'll crash. I'm sure that too many people will be on it and it'll crash. But
yeah, so if you are going to follow stream today, if you are abroad trying to watch the game, go through the app that now exists.
The iFollow app. I mean, you wouldn't get such technical difficulties with us on this show.
Absolutely, never. We've never had a
technical difficulty
ever.
Never. But there we go. So right before we shoot off and find our places in the stadium, let's do a round of predictions. George, what do you think?
I think 2-1 Dons. I'm going to go with Jai Simi and then McAteer off the bench.
Oh, what a prediction.
So two debut goals.
Put some money on that one if that comes off.
First goals.
Tom?
I'm going 2-0 Dons. Chislett free kick. I think he's not. I think he wants one of those again after Orion. He didn't get that one. And then Josh Davison and Nick Zanev clean sheet because we love Nick Zanev.
Because you love Nick Zanev. Yeah. Cool. Stu, what did you say on the podcast?
I can't remember now because we both basically our predictions went totally against the stats.
I said we don't score goals, we don't concede goals, so I went for a 4-4 draw.
So we went for 2-1. But the funny thing is, we went to Carlisle. Our only trip to Carlisle last time was a 4 draw at Carlisle.
We did go, we did.
Which was ridiculous.
Aziz last minute equaliser.
Do you know what I think 2-1? I think 2-1. Yeah, 2-1.
Who's going to score, Stu?
Oh, I don't care. Own goal.
Someone.
Do you know what? I'm with you actually with Jazimi because I think it's really nice when you get a player that really excites you, and I think he's done that, hasn't he? You know what I mean? I've asked Davison for a goal. We've got to get him. Davison normally scores goals in bunches, so we need to get him to score.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he? He goes like 3 games in a row, we'll get a goal, and then doesn't score for a few games.
Yeah, so Jazimi and Davison.
It would be good. Can I change? Can I say Armani Little instead? He's I love him too much. Armani Little.
We do need somebody to score goals because as Stu and I discussed on the podcast this week, we only have 5 of the current squad that have actually scored for us this season. So we do need to find a 6th today. DJ or Armani Little might be the one.
Find a 7th as well. Armani and DJ.
It could be. We could get down to 7 by the end of it. Wow, a magnificent 7. Right, well that is it for us today. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for joining us. Fans from Carlisle and Huss Billa, Stu.
Billa, yeah.
No, I had George at the start of the season going, it's Belair, it's 100% Belair.
Johnson found out.
And then
Belair, isn't it?
it's Billa. It's
George
Billa.
Jones money.
He told us.
Yeah, he did. From
Yeah,
his
to be
own
fair,
mouth.
just saying me, I can't even pronounce his first name.
DJ.
So
DJ.
that's the first.
DJ, if God is a DJ, he might score today. So anyway, right. Thank you very much, Drew. Thank you for Spike, George, Rob, everyone behind the scenes getting sorted. We'll be back at full time about 5:15, depending on how many minutes the ref adds on to give you all the reaction to whatever happens today. Thank you very much. Remember, if you are watching on iFollow, to go through the app today because of technical difficulties. Twitter updates as well at AFC Wimbledon at 9 YRS podcast. That is it. Thank you very much.